The series starts with the MC drowning. Apparently, he has been having that nightmare for multiple nights. As he drifts away into the void of his head, a voice calling him awakes the man, and to his surprise, he is locked in a cell. A girl talks to him through a glory hole. The girl alerts him to a wall of spikes closing on him slowly. Being afraid, he goes off at the girl, accusing her that she's the one who put him there. But he soon learns that she's in the same situation, so he swiftly starts to think about ways to escape. After noticing the girl has an axe with her and she has no window in her room, he comes to the conclusion that he can destroy the wooden window in his cell using the big booba's axe. And after he promises he won't leave her behind, the plan is set in motion. However, they soon learn that the hole is too small for the thick axe to pass through. Hence, the girl tries to widen the hole, but to no avail, as it's made from granite. Now hopeless, the girl cries her heart out, but based Sigma, Ning, tells her to shut up. Oh yes, the main character's name is Ning, and currently he can't think clearly with all the crying. The girl can't believe that she will die too soon even before having her first kiss, to which Ning responds it's easy, just approach the glory hole. Anyway, Ning asks the girl how she ended up in this place. She tells him that she fell asleep on a train, and the next thing she found was waking up in that cell next to metal bed. A joy sparks in Ning's heart as he now has a way out. By using a metal rod from the bed, he manages to break his window, setting himself free, while Sue the booba is glued to the wall crying for his help as the spikes get closer on her. A perfectly timed flashback shows Sue's past, how she got left behind on a mountain for wanting to stick a guy who got injured, who in turn also left her for not wanting to be his girlfriend. Back to track with this event, it was apparent she suffers from trust issues, hence she gets shocked when Ning came back to rescue her. And after they break from their cell, he takes a look around him and realizes they are on an island. The couple was prisoned in a lighthouse. While going down a ladder, Ning notices that it is broken in the middle and the only way down is to jump to the other half, which he successfully does. Then a hesitant Sue jumps, landing in his arm, but the ladder breaks due to the mass of dem titties. While falling, Ning uses his body as a human shield to protect Sue, who in turn saves him from drowning and carries him to a room on the lower floors of the lighthouse. Inside, Sue finds a dead body and encounters a budget-cut Gilgamesh, who threatens her with his trusty butterfly knife, demanding to answer his questions since he suspects that she is the person behind the kidnapping. She tells him her identity and pleads to him that he could let her tend to the unconscious Ning. The pretty boy smiles and says he'll question him to see if she's saying the truth about herself, so he steps on the poor guy's hand, waking him in state of shock. When the blondie asks Ning if he knows the booba, he replies that he has never seen that girl before. Savage, I know, right? However, this was not a joke. Turns out our boy suffers from amnesia caused by the nasty fall. But the gangsta is not convinced yet, so he demands the chick explain in one word why the guy risked his life to save her, excluding love from first sight, as our tough boy here doesn't believe in that crap. After thinking hard, the girl pulls a reverse Umino card, asking the guy for how long he knew his oldest friend, which he answered by saying 22 years, and through some pseudo-logic that fried my brain to the point I gave up on reading the subtitles, she convinces him, leading Ning to be set free. After collecting themselves, we see Sue trying to make Ning remember the recent events they had, but to no avail, as the last thing he remembers is him standing in the corner reading the Playboy in the 5th grade, to which the blondie compliments. Soon after the group's attention diverts to the corpse, the chick started analyzing it. They laid the corpse on the ground and tore its shirt to further investigate. With nothing to do, Sue asks the thug who he is. Gilgamesh responds that he works for an Eastern gang, and that his name is Jiyoung, and he expects that a smuggler by the name Ming took and left them there, to which Ning explains that it's not the case and they are in some sort of game, indicating that our boy is starting to come to his senses bit by bit. Either that, or he was bloody smart for a 5th grader. After such claims, they notice a piece of paper in the mummy's ear. It's a map that Ning remarks he vaguely knows or remembers it, which consequently makes Jiyoung demand answers, but in the hazy phase, Ning can't deliver them. So big sis Sue takes him away and calmly asks him about the map, but he can't remember and eventually passes out between her arms. The next day comes, Jiyoung wakes up the couple and informs them that they are going to the X mark point on the map, and remarks that he still doesn't trust them and proceeds to point himself as the leader of the group. After finding a man-made trap in the woods, he tells them to start gathering all the essentials they need to camp for the night, and that he will be taking half of the food and water as their newly appointed leader. At night, while having dinner, well, it was more like Jiyoung having dinner. He takes a look at Sue in the most rappy way. Charmed by her voluptuous body, he ordered her to make his bed in the cave, then tells Ming to eat up and whatever happens, to not enter the cave or he will kill him. Surely the predictable happened and Sue started screaming. Outside, Ning is having a crisis to go in or stay out, so he decides to go in, interrupting the alpha. Despite the kicks that Sigma gets, he holds his ground and says he can't leave, and that they are a team, explaining each member's vital role through game mechanics, which leads Ning to personally get acquainted with the Alpha's fist before he leaves the cave. Ji-young contemplates on Ning's words about being a team and whatnot and concludes that they can't be the men of his enemy. Then suddenly he hears a man shouting for help, so he sprints back to the camp, and after finding the couple is safe, they rush towards the trap location and watch carefully as the events unfold. At some point, the girl tries to warn the man being chased about the trap ahead, but she gets silenced by Ning, who explains. The one who is after that running man hasn't appeared yet means he's being chased by a very, very dangerous fella, which evidently turns out to be the case, so the group watches as the tribesman kills the 70s porn star looking guy. After the man leaves, the team gets back to the camp and Ji-young stays up for the night to guard the place. The next day comes and the couple is collecting coconuts. A rat sneaks beside Su's feet, scaring the booba. Ji-young comes running thinking they were being attacked by the cannibal. When he sees it wasn't the case, he scolds the girl as her shouting might bring some unwanted attention. Then Ning remarks that he came fast to protect them, making him blush. Ji-young tries to brush off, saying he was taking a piss nearby, which in turn makes the busty babe wanna go to the bathroom, especially after that deadly encounter with the rat. While answering the nature call, she gets jumped by two tribesmen. They hold her on the ground in a rather sussy position. Meanwhile, the guys are trying to come up with a plan fast to save her, but seeing that her head will be a mashed potato soon, they decide to go out guns blazing as Ning runs down to tackle the guy from behind and Ji-young aims for the other guy. A shot was fried, sending the hammer guy to the ground and making the other guy run away. Su hugs Ning, but their happy reunion was cut short by a busty blonde who introduces herself as a member of LAPD Tracy Candy, which, let me tell you, it's the most generic American porn star name I've heard. Tracy tells the team that they need to move out as that location is not safe anymore and that there is another group of people they can join. Ji-young can't fully trust Tracy, though, since she looks familiar, and he lets her know that, but she brushes it off by saying there are a lot of people who look like her. Their convo gets cut short by the tribesmen who brought more numbers with him and arrows to the fight, so Tracy stays back to cover the team and tells them about a safe point where they can wait for her. At the point, Ji-young instructs the team that they should never speak about the map and code they found since they can't trust no one except themselves, and he offers that by obeying him, he will do whatever he can to protect them. The booba is hesitant to take the offer. I mean, how can you blame her after that quote-unquote accident in the cave? Thus, she leaves the decision to Ning, who agrees to the offer. With it, Ji-young makes a somewhat epic oath under the eyes of Guan, who is the god of war and the god gangster in Chinese folklore. And after they finish it, Tracy, who is still alive and 100% sexy, arrives. She tells them with no much ammo left, the best chance for survival is to go and join the other group, to which the team agrees. After walking for a while, they arrive at the place where the rest of the groups is waiting. Candy tells them they must obey the rules and that fighting between members is not allowed, also adding if someone breaks the rules they will get punished by exile or even death. After they all chill out, the group starts to introduce themselves. First, we have the serious guy Kawa, the president of the Ishigaki group. Next is Wengxiang, a professional basketball player. After that is Romeo, who is an actor. Officer Candy tells them that south through the woods she found a massive architectural complex surprising everyone. Kawa tells them they must go and explore it. But the alpha male and Romeo want to stay at the hideout, otherwise for them to leave Kawa must pay $10 million check, but then the alpha asks for double, to which Kawa with no other option agrees to. The group visits the big ancestral structure in the middle of the forest. They decide to split up as the structure is quite evidently not their mother's crib. Ning and Ko stays behind with the guy who voted for Ji-young, while Tracy forms another group that also includes Su and leads the expedition inside the structure. Ji-young puts Romeo in his place after he tries to earn his favor. Su gets a flashback where she's talking to Ning, where she reveals that she poisoned Jian when he was trying to have some fun with her. She also tells him that Jian will die after 7 days. Ming tries to tell her that he is not that bad of a person, but Su reassures him that she give him an antidote to later on. However, the antidote induces excruciating pain in the stomach, and it was about time the effects kicked in. And just as Ji-young starts feeling the effects of it, the cannibals attack them. The other guy goes and pulls a lever inside the pyramidal structure that starts closing the gates. He had planned to abandon the rest, but Ning's heroic actions save the day as he takes Ji-young and slides into the pyramid just before the gate closes. However, Ning gets hit by a potent neurotoxin from the cannibals. Su tells him that he has only 12 hours to live at best. But Ning isn't bothered by it and tells the crew to carry on and find the exit soon so that they can get the antidote. Ji-young agrees with him as he feels guilty over his injury and is thankful for his actions as well. They all start looking for a way out when they find a man and some others drown in the water. They dilly-dally a bit, but in the end decide to save them. We are introduced to a set of characters, one of them revealing himself to be an archaeologist, a Russian man who actually looks useful, and a pair of completely useless ones. They'll probably be the ones dying next. The gang discusses that this room is a puzzle and that the only way to get out is if they get to the highest pillar somehow. The room gets filled with water every few minutes, and every time the water level rises up, one of the pillars gets submerged. Ning once again proves himself useful even as a 5th grader, as he tells them that the other pillars are just distractions and they should only go forward. As they go forward, they decide that one of them would climb up and pull the others with a rope, and that the order would be decided by a draw. As everyone carefully makes their way to the highest pillar, they see a door. After dilly-dallying a bit, they decide to swim towards the door. When they reach it, Rika touches it and goes inside a shady room. The archaeologist tells them that the writing on the wall says that a sacrifice must be made to get out of the room. As Rika goes inside the secret room, another door opens up. The gang swims its way across the room and leaves the water-filled room. As everyone escapes from the flooded room, they start rushing so that they can find an exit. They then come across a room where they find a door that only opens when there is some weight on the table right next to it. Girard reads out aloud the writing on the wall and explains to everyone that they need to sacrifice a person here and leave him to die so that the door can open. Romeo suggests that they vote on it and leave Ning there to die since he's half dead at that point anyway. The vote goes as 6 in favor and 4 in opposition. Xiang doesn't like the idea but still participates since he has a plan for saving Ning. Xiang then beats Romeo up and knocks him unconscious. He puts it to vote again to ask if anyone objects to leaving that pussy behind. Since the guy is a hateful good-for-nothing, everyone agrees to leave him behind. Thanks to the noble sacrifice of Romeo, everyone is able to escape and Sue is able to find a cure for Ning. Xiang and Andrei go back in there to save him, but he's eaten by a mysterious beast inside the room in the pyramid. As they come back, the gang is attacked by a giant snake and Xiang falls down a waterfall while trying to fight it. However, Xiang is safe and sound thanks to the water. Ning also wakes up and he seems to be alright. The entire gang then encounters the savages who, contrary to their previous record, don't immediately kill everyone because they recognize Girard and ask him about the one-eyed man who Girard reveals to be his master. The savages capture everyone and take them to their village. They tell them that the one-eyed man had saved them long ago with his medical skills and they expect the same of his apprentice. Girard explains that he does not have any medical knowledge and that he needs Sue in there to save them. But the villagers told Sue to back off since they are all Sigma males and don't think women are good for anything. After insisting a bit, however, they let her in and she diagnoses them all with malaria. Sue, Tracy, and Andrei go into the woods to search for the cure while Girard reveals that he now suspects his master is alive and is conducting research on immortality. Time runs out and the villagers are on the verge of killing everyone when Sue and the others come back with the cure. Thanks to these heroic actions, everyone is now safe, and they start heading towards the volcano as they think that's where the answers lie. An important-looking man with half of his face peeled off in a mansion gets a report on the situation of the people on the island. He tells the reporter that as long as Ning is with them, he will keep betting on their survival. An old man who looks like he is Girard's master is also sitting there with a half-faced man. Since they're all familiar with the villagers now, everyone starts relaxing in their own way and the guys enjoy their sweet time looking at Tracy coming out of the water in a bikini. But the joy is short-lived as Xiang spots some zombie monkeys, another product of the immortal research conducted by Girard's master. The monkeys bite one of the villagers and it's decided that he will be dismembered and thrown in a deep pit. But the villager runs away after he bites another one of the villagers. The chief's brother, the one-hand man, tells everyone the story of how his son was killed off because he became a zombie. He then takes everyone up the hill and reveals that he had mixed some zombie organs in the soup that the new chief has to drink in the crowning ceremony, turning him into a zombie. The chief orders everyone to kill all the people that came from the outside. As everyone runs for their lives from the savages, they all get separated. Ning ends up with the most useless members of the squad, Ding and the guy who never shuts up about Chinese lore. The group tries to call Sue as she's running towards them while being chased, but don't call her out as the villagers get to her first. The villagers spare her because she was the one who cured them and let her go. Ning's group runs into some trouble with the crocodiles when Dame, the spineless coward who has made it his job to be the worst character after Romeo's death, escapes on his own, alerting the crocodiles. Ning gets some flashbacks to his pre-amnesia self and once again becomes more like his adult self. Ding runs into Xiang and he forces him to go back and save the other two while he holds up the zombie monkeys. After the boys make their successful escape, Xiang comes back scored by the zombie monkeys. Xiang and Ning have some wholesome brother-esque interactions as the former realizes that Ning is a natural-born leader. On the other hand, Andrew and Tracy find each other while Sue finds herself with the last two very hungry boys. Suddenly, they got attacked by zombie monkeys and run away. Meanwhile, Ning and the rest reach to a swamp and try to cross it. The archaeologist tells them to slowly swim across. Ning gets scared by a spider and starts to sink. Fortunately, after a flashback, Ning helps him out of the swamp. Tracy tells a story to the others, excluding Andrew, about her time at Interpol. She said that she was the one who shot and killed Andrew's brother when they were on a mission. Ishigaki tells her to be careful around him. After a while, the gang is climbing the volcano. They'd fall into a pit thanks to quicksand as they are searching for Ishigaki, who had just recently gone missing. Everyone falls down, and there they find an unconscious Ishigaki. Meanwhile, Ning's group also heads towards the volcano, and they find a hot spring to soak themselves in. As they are relaxing, Gerard comes down with a malarial fever. Ning finds a cave and deduces that everyone is in there, but Gerard says that he cannot continue further. Xiang stays there to take care of him and rest up as well, since he can't walk anymore either. Andrew and Tracy find a man-made underground tunnel and split up to cover more ground. Tracy gets trapped in a room and thinks Andrew is the one trying to kill her. So she does what anyone would in that situation. Yep, she takes off her clothes. After a while, Andrew actually shows up, and after a misplaced shot, he tries to fight back as well. Ning soon follows the two to stop the fight. He threatens them that he would drop all the food in his hand as everyone is already going through a food crisis. After stopping the fight, Ning and the others come back to where Su, Ao, and Ishigaki are. Ning takes Su to the place where he left Xiang and the professor. However, they are nowhere to be seen now. The gang then decides to look inside the facility for them after Ishigaki wakes up. After opening a few doors, the gang finds a bunch of supercomputers, and Ishigaki says that it's his time to shine since he is a software engineer. He starts working on decoding the info in the lab as the others split up to search around the facility. Tracy and Su find the place where the immortal monkeys are made, while Ning and the others find a room full of dead skeletons. The boys open another door and find a scary-looking black-haired man sitting on the sofa while grinning. The boys find out that the man on the sofa is also dead. However, his body is still preserved somehow, so they look for an ID, and the man turns out to be the chief of the lab. They take a small diary with torn-out pages in between when Andrew says that he just saw someone running outside, so he has to chase it. Then we cut to the sexy ladies and one fellow who wet his pants a few days ago. They are once again getting chased by a man. He traps the ladies by burying the doors and kills Ding, frankly a very big favor. The girls find a way to escape the barred doors, but the guy, supposedly Andrew, knows the layout of the facility and thus is able to trap them both in a room with the help of a potentially toxic gas. Cutting back to Ishigaki and Ning gives him the password written in the diary, but instead of unlocking itself, the computer presents a handprint scanner. Ning convinces O to bring the hand of the chief since he is a professional athlete and is the only one who can make it in time before the lab self-destructs in 10 minutes. However, O gets cold feet when gets to it. But some motivational words from Ning convince him to finish the job, and he brings not just the hand, but the entire body to the control room. However, the anime ends before we are able to see if he made it in time or not. The end. If you enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more amazing recaps.